Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Hello and Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to today's DAF, GITTEN Peivav. We are on the second line from the top. Gufay shall get shichrur, harayat bas chayrin, harayat la'atzmich. So the Mishnah gave us a rundown of the basic text for a get isha and a get shichrur of an eved, a release document for a slave. And now comes the Gemara and tells us that asking Rabbi Yehuda b'shtar zvine de avdi, Rabbi Yehuda instituted the following text should be included in a shtar mechira, a sale document, when selling an eved. So we need clarity, nothing ambiguous. Write as follows: Avda denan, this dear eved of mine. Okay, so this eved mutzdak la'avda is prepared, is fully enabled for serving, for working at his next stop. So nothing wrong, no issues. He's ready to serve, ready to work. Which means to say there are no legal issues, no liens, nothing holding him back from being transferred to the next owner. Upater v'ater. This is also along the same lines. He's separated. That's upater. Separated. V'ater means he's distanced, okay, min chiruri, from all forms of being free, umin aluli, all forms of claims or liens, umin erure, malka, umalkasa. Likewise, there are no warrants. He's free of any arrest warrants applied by the king or queen. Basically, he's a non-criminal, no problem. There's no mark of any owner on him. He used to have like a simon on an eved, some sort of tag or something. Well, nothing on him. He's not owned by anybody. He's free of any blemish, any boils, and nafik, which may serve as ad tatzhar until for the next 2 years. So he's pretty much guaranteed as a successful eved. Chadas va'atik, whether a new condition of boils or old skin condition, no worries, no issues, no legal issues, no health issues. He's ready to work. Maya svase. Now, suppose he does turn up this skin boil condition. What's the remedy? Amar Abaye ginbra, take some ginger, martecha, some psilis of the silver. When they mine the silver, there seems to be some left over there. That's the psilis of the silver. Use that, v'chabrisa, and some sulfur, v'chalad achamra, some wine vinegar, mishcha dezesa, some olive oil, v'natfik chibra, some white sap, tree sap, v'shaifel, and you apply it on the eved's skin, begat, for using a feather, the avza of a duck. Okay, says the Mishnah, shloisha gittin psulin. The following 3 gittin are problematic. They're deficient to a certain extent. They're pasal midrabanan. L'chatchila, you shouldn't be using them. But the eved, if she uses this type of incomplete get, v'imnises, and she remarries based on that divorce, avlat kasher, the child is okay, is not a mamzer. Number 1, kasav b'ksav yadai, ve'en elevadim. The get is recorded in the husband's handwriting, so he wrote the get, and there are no edim on bottom. So he serves like the like the aid. He's the husband, he's the aid. You don't need edim when the husband himself wrote the get. That's the shita of this Tana in the Mishnah. Or number 2, yeshal of edim. We have proper edim on the get. Has been signed by proper witnesses, but there's no date, which is a required element. Yesh b'izman, third option, there is a date, it's only signed by one witness. All 3 of these, hare'elu, shloisha gittin psul, they're deficient somewhat. Don't use them. V'imnises avlat kasha, but if she used them and she got remarried, the child is okay. Rabbi Lezer Eimer, in a general sense, says Rabbi Lezer, we don't even need edim to begin with. Even if we have no witnesses signed on the actual document. Rather, it was delivered to the Isha in the presence of witnesses who noticed, who witnessed, who officiated. During that process, the get is fully fine, kosher. Likewise, if this is a a loan document. You can use it to collect from your properties which had been sold, lien properties. The only reason why we even require Edom to sign on a get, for the betterment of society, basically, if the Edom Mesira, who saw the delivery of the shtar, are no longer here, not accessible, so how do we know the get wasn't forged? That's why we put the Edom on the get as well. We have Edom Chasima, which indicates to us that it was written properly, and apparently it was probably done properly and formally in front of Edom. We assume that it's a proper document. So 3 cases of Gittin which are problematic. With the Rabbanon, they're apostle, but b'diavad, v'im nisses avlad kasher, v'su leka. We only have 3. We have many more cases where it's apostle lechatchila, but b'diavad it's kasher. But you could get yashan. What about that get yashan we discussed the other day, where there was yichud between the husband and wife post ksivas haget, the get shouldn't be used lechatchila. Well, hasam leiteitze, there it's not so severe as this Mishnah. They're similar but different. Get yashan shouldn't be used, but if she used it and she remarried, okay, we just leave it alone. It's only a concern because it can arouse all kinds of discussions about the children and pagam. So it's something we don't advise. But the if she remarried, she stays with her new husband, as opposed to our Mishnah. These deficient gittin, they're inherently deficient. They're missing some, required element, whether it's the Edom or the Zman. She has to leave her new husband. So the Mishnah says if the child was born, it's not a mamzer, but she has to leave her new husband. So it's different than get yash. Well, this is not so simple. We have a machlokes and Amud Beis whether in these 3 of our Mishnah she has to leave her new husband. So according to the Shita that she has to, okay, so you've highlighted the difference between this case and get yashin. But according to the other opinion, that even in our Mishnah, these 3 gittin psul are not so severe. You don't have to leave your new husband. Michael, remember then, there's no difference between this and get yashin. So why not mention that as well? Hasam tenas l'chatchila. Even so, get yashin doesn't come close to our Mishnah. There, she actually got divorced with a get yashin. We don't recommend it, but if she did get divorced, she can get married lichatchila. She can go on to the next step. Hachadiyevet. Here it's only b'diyevet. So again, the 3 cases of our Mishnah are more problematic. They're missing some, feature within the get itself that's worse than that case of get yash. But we found something else that really should belong in our Mishnah. But you could get kireach, the get that has many folds, right? It's meant to prolong the process, to enable the kohen. It's meant for kohanim. The kohen who perhaps got irritated, who's prone to irritation, who got irritated, perhaps he'll quiet down, he'll cool off. And you're meant to have a signee, an aid on every single blank, on every single fold. So if it's a get kireach, it's a bald get, meaning it has some blanks that are not filled in. There's another example of a get which is pasal midrabanan. Well, it doesn't belong in our Mishnah because there it's really bad. Hasam avlad mamzer. If she remarries with that get, child is a mamzer. We treat it as a get pasal. Hachavlad kasher, as opposed to our Mishnah. If she remarries with these problematic get, in the blood is kasher. Hanichel Rameir. So this distinction only works according to Rabbi Meir. The Amar Kalameshane Mimatbeya Shatov Chacham Begitna Vlad Mamzer says if you deviate from the way the Chacham established and packaged the get, such as by the get kerech, if you leave out, the aid there, who's not required in Torah, it's only the Rabbanon, the Vlad is Mamzer. So you have that distinction between that case and our case. El Rabbanon Michael according to Rabbanon, who hold that even by a get kerech, if you remarry the child is okay, so then it belongs in our Mishnah, amongst our cases of similar gittin. Answer is Hasam Teitze, Hachalei Teitze. But get Kereach, it's still worse off because she has to leave her new husband, as opposed to our Mishnah, which she can stay on with him. Well, again, that works if you hold that in our Mishnah, she doesn't have to leave her new husband, right? But if you'll go like the other opinion, that even the 3 examples of our Mishnah requires leaving her new husband, Michael Memar, then there's no distinction between us and get Kereach. After all, it's a different type of get. It's a sewn get, a folded get. We're speaking about standard gittin, and therefore, it's not on our list in our Mishnah. What about that case where he didn't date the get properly, and there's a reason why we do it to foster shalom between ourselves and our host countries, our host governments. So not conforming in that case is also a get which is possible with the Rabbanon. Why isn't that in our Mishnah? There she has to leave a new husband, here she doesn't. That's if we don't have to do it here. But if in our Mishnah she has to leave her husband as well, so then they're pretty much on the same plane. So why is that case not included in our Mishnah as well? Says the Gemara, let's script the brackets here. Mukim look Reb Meir, Vasam Avlad Mamzer, Rach Avlad Kosher. So we'll say that our Mishnah is Reb Meir speaking, and therefore we have a distinction. In the case of the Shalei Malchus, Avlad is Mamzer, because again there's something inherently deficient within the get itself, as opposed to our 3 gittin over here. The Vlad is okay, and the Mepharshim explain apparently the Chachamim, when they instituted these halachas of having these things in the get by us, it was with this in mind that b'diavad it's okay. Now, the Mishnah mentions numbers, not just actually listing the cases, but it gives us numbers as well. We begin with the word shloisha gittim psulim, which typically is a miyut, only these, but not others. And then the Mishnah continues again, Hari elu shloisha gittim psulim. Again, we reference the number. We can read, we can count. Why does Mishnah have to mention the number 3 once and again? There's something hidden in that expression. Minyana the reishel mutimai, uminyana the seifel mutimai. The number at the outset of the Mishnah and the number later on in the Mishnah. What are they coming to exclude? The mutimai. Minyana the reishel muti, hani the amara. The number 3 mentioned at the beginning of the Mishnah is coming to exclude all those that we mentioned till now. They get yashan and get kerech, all these, which work based on different guidelines and they have other consequences. And it's a different system than our Mishnah. Right? So in some of them we have Vlad as Mamzer, right? As opposed to our Mishnah, which doesn't have that consequence. Right? So get Yashan, get Keireyach, right? Shalei Malchus. So we say the Vlad is Mamzer. And it's different than our Mishnah. I'm not sure about Get Yashan. Perhaps Get Yashan even Reb Meir would be okay with that lechatchila. If she used it, she could marry lechatchila. But at least by the Get Kereach and the Shalom Malchus, it's clear that according to Reb Meir, it carries really severe consequences. As opposed to our Mishnah, we say okay, lechatchila b'diavad the Vlad is kosher. So that's why we have number 3. These 3 and not those. Right? Mukla the Rameir, Vasam Avlad Mamzer, Hach Avlad Kosher. Next. Minyana the Seifel Mutimai. Right? What about the number 3 later on in the Mishnah? What is that coming to exclude? Minyana the Seifel Mutai Had Sanya. We're coming to be memayit the following case. Where according to Rameir, not conforming to that halacha results in grave consequences. Child born from the next marriage is a mamzer. In contrast to the 3 psulim of our Mishnah, which doesn't carry that penalty. The sanya, maybe get, the sayam, person delivers a get from out of town. The son, he delivers it to the isha. He's meant to say something. Remember, right? Fanei nechta. Look, I can certify as to the kashrus of the get. He didn't say that. He failed to make that declaration. The son gives it to her v'lo yomar. Fanei nechta. Terrible. Yoitzi, v'avad mamzer. If she remarries, she has to separate. Vlad as a mamzer. Divrei Meir, it's not a get. No, we don't say it. It's not that terrible. Ketzad yasa. What is the solution? Yitlenu himena. V'yachsev itnan Allah. V'fnei shnayim. V'yoymar. Fanei nichtam. Rather, he takes the get back from the isha, And it gives it to her again, this time accompanied by this declaration, So bottom line, the Mishnah has 3 examples of gittin who are pasal midrabanan. Shloisha gittin psulim, but b'diavad, v'imnisis avlad is kosher. Child is not a mamzer. Now, can she stay on with the new husband? Apparently that's a machlokes, and we'll see that on the Amud Beis. What are these 3 gittin? Kasav b'ksav yadoi, ve'ein olav edim. So it's in his handwriting without any witnesses signed on the bottom. Amarav, ksav yadoi shaninu. Ksav yadoi of who? Whose handwriting? The husband's handwriting. As opposed to the scribe, the sefer's handwriting. We need the husband's handwriting. Now, Ahaya, on which one of these 3 gittin was Rav referencing? What was he speaking to? First, second, or third case? Ilay Meresha. Was he going on case number 1, which is Kasav b'ksav yadai ve'ein olav edim? And Rav comes and says, well, it has to be the husband's handwriting. No, Pshita, obviously. Ksav yadai ketani, the Mishnah clearly says it's his handwriting. Right? Ve'el amtziyasa. Rather, he was referencing the next case, which is Yesh olav edim ve'ein bo izman. On that, Rav says, to make sure, that's the husband's handwriting, but who cares? We have edim. Yesh olav edim. Who needs the husband's involvement? We have edim. Husband's handwriting has the same value as edim, right? But if we have edim, we don't need them. So what does Rav mean? Elas sefer. It's going on the last case of the Mishnah. Yesh bo izman. It was properly dated. There's only 1 eid instead of 2. Comes Rav and he says like this: V'dafka ksav yadai ve'ed. You should know. You have only 1 eid. Where'd you get? Oh, the husband's handwriting. We discern the husband's handwriting. It's his ksav yad. That saves the day. That's why we say, b'diavad, the get is kosher. And the truth is, we don't really need the new eid. We don't need the additional eid here, because we just said a minute ago, that's the first case, ksav yad of the husband is enough. So the chiddush of the Mishnah is, Rashi explains, the chiddush of the Mishnah is that even in this case where the ksav yad of the husband, the handwriting of the husband is accompanied by another eid, you would think, even the chatchila, the get is kosher. We say, no, chatchila, it's not kosher. But in any case, without the husband's handwriting, there's nothing to talk about. Aval ksav sefer ve'ed loy, but if it's just the sefer's handwriting, right? You clearly, discern the sefer's handwriting was written by this in the sefer. Even if there's another eid next to him, loy, it doesn't work. Because the sefer cannot take the place. His handwriting doesn't constitute eidus. Ushmol lamar, Shmuel disagrees. This third case here where there's 1 eid, afilu ksav sefer ve'ed. We're speaking that even if the sefer hand wrote the get, then we discern his handwriting, and that accompanies the single witness who signed his name on bottom. Afilu ksav sefer ve'ed. That's also fine. That's also kosher, and that's what the Mishnah means as well. You don't need the husband's ksav yad, specifically the husband's ksav yad. Even the sefer would work for that. So the fact that we recognize the sefer's handwriting, that serves as testimony as to the fact that the husband instructed him to write the get. So him together with the other eid who signed, there you go. Look at the Mishnah later on, that Pezayin. Ksav sefer ve'ed, that's fine. But Rav responds, 1 second. How could you compare our Mishnah where the get is only kosher b'di'evet to the Mishnah there which says you can marry l'chatchila midami? How do you compare the 2 cases? Hasam tanas l'chatchila. There, the Mishnah allows it. Whatever get we're speaking about there, we'll see later, tomorrow, B'ez Hashem, it's kosher l'chatchila. It's A1. Hacha di'evet. Now Mishnah was speaking about, shaky gittin. So apparently, you can't compare the 2 cases. Apparently that Mishnah is speaking about a different thing, that the sefer actually signed his name. We'll see later. Shmuel responds to that question. No! Our Mishnah, that Mishnah, it's all the same thing. We have the ksav of the sefer, the handwriting of the sefer without a signature, and we have the aid accompanying him. As to your question, loikashi, the answer is like this. There it's still better than our Mishnah because it's ha b'safra de muvik. They were speaking about an established professional scribe, which really leads us to believe that he was following the husband's instructions. He wouldn't jeopardize his reputation. So it serves as a proper aid, and he can go even marry lechatchila based on his handwriting together with the other aid. V'ha b'safra loy muvik, as opposed to Amish speaking about just a unknown sefer, so to speak, and not a well-established sefer. So it serves somewhat to some degree as an edus, but it's not the best, and therefore we shouldn't use it lechatchila. V'chein Rabbi Yehuda. Likewise, Rabbi Yehuda learned Ksav Yodei Shaninu, that was speaking about the husband's handwriting, but the sefer's handwriting doesn't really do much in terms of serving as an aid. Amalei Rabbi Lezer Hariyeshel of Edom. He thought that he was going on the middle case of the Mishnah where there was Edom. Why do we need handwritings and why do we need the husband's Ksav Yad? Amalei Seifos. He said, no, we're going on the last case where you only have one aid, and like we explained before, so that's why we speak about the Ksav Yad of the husband, but of course it's not needed in the second case of the Mishnah, where we already have proper aid. Now, let's go back to the Mishnah. 3 GITTEN which are problematic. So she used them, and she got remarried. What happens now? We made a slight reference to the fact that there's a machlekes. Here it comes. Zimnin Amarav Teitzi. At times, Rav would say, yeah, she has to leave her new husband. Zimnin Amarav Lei Teitzi. Other times, Rav says, no need to leave. Okay, how do we work this out? When yes, when no? Well, it depends if it's going to affect her children, her new children. Yesh le Bonam Lei Teitzi. If she remarried and she had more children, then we just leave it alone. We don't want to rock the boat. Ein le Bonam Teitzi, but there are no kids in marriage number 2, then she has to leave him. Master Rav Zutz Batuvia. You're telling me that B'di'evet she could stay on with her new husband? Here comes a kash. So as we all know, when there's a yibum situation, so Reuven passed away without kids, left behind Rachel and Leah. Rachel was a relative to his brother Reuven, so she's an erva. So not only is Rachel exempt from yibum, but Leah, who's the co-wife, the tzara of the erva, is pater from yibum as well, provided Rachel was really part of the family. But it turns out that there was some doubt as to her status, as to her belonging to this family to begin with. And in all these situations, shahayu behen safek kedushin. There was a safek whether Reuven actually married her, or safek gerushin, or he married her all right, but perhaps he divorced her before his death, so she was already off the scene. In which case, Leah would not be considered a tzaras erev upon Reuven's passing. So in all these cases, there's a suffix as to Leah's status, as to Leah's requirement to do yibum or chalitza. So we take sort of the middle road. We do a compromise. Hareilu cholzes le'misyabmas. We do chalitza, no yibum. Okay, so what's the? Give me an example of a suffix kiddushin. Zorakla, kiddushin. So Reuven tossed the ring to her in the street. Suffix karavla, suffix karavla. We don't know if it landed closer to her, in which case she's married to him, or landed closer to him, in which case it's not a kinyan. So suffix kedushin, that's a classic case of a suffix kedushin. Suffix gerushin, what's an example of suffix gerushin? Problematic divorce documents, such as the ones mentioned in our Mishnah. Kasav b'ksav yadai, v'nel of edim, if the husband's handwriting, but there are no witnesses. Yesh al edim bezman, there are edim with no zman, yesh bezman edim eladechad, right? So all these gittin that we discussed, harei suffix kedushin, it's called suffix kedushin because midrabanan, it's not a proper get, so we treat her as sort of a semi-divorced person, in which case we apply chalitza to the co-wife. Now, if you're telling me, a minute ago you told me that once she used the get to remarry and there are kids involved, she doesn't leave her new husband. So you know what kind of impression that's going to make? You know what kind of message it's going to send? People will assume that it's a proper get. The fact that she stays on married with her new husband. So now, in a yibum situation where there's a tsaras erva, tsarasa asya levyumi. So that's going to lead us to send her co-wife for yibum. People will say, 1 second, I know there was some sort of problematic get issued during Reuven's lifetime to Rachel, but look, we're treating it as a valid get. Once she remarries, she has kids, she stays unmarried, so she's off the scene. She's out of the equation. The Erva is no longer to be reckoned with, and Leah will do Yibum. Says the Gemara, okay, Nishkeferlich, what's the worst thing that can happen? This Yavim, she'll do Yibum. Technically, she didn't do anything wrong, because Chashash de Rabbanoni, remember this whole psul in the get, it's just been the Rabbanon. So at worst, we're running into an issue of the Rabbanon, and if it happens, if she's in Siyavim, not much harm was done. Chashash de Rabbanon. Levi disagrees. Levi Amar Lo'elam Le'Teitzei. Whenever, however, these three gittin b'diavad, if she remarries, you don't separate. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yechon Lo'elam Le'Teitzei. V'chein Amalu Rabbi Yechon. Rabbi Yechon told these people of Nei, Rav Chalafta, the sons of Rav Chalafta, the Min Huna, or the Min Chayfa, Hachi Amar Avuchen, I know that your father actually said the same thing. Lo'elam Le'Teitzei, no need to leave. That's halacha number one. And while he's at it, I actually have another halacha. In the name of your father. The kartzitz, a certain type of worm, Sheba usually found amongst the bundles of grain. This type of little worm, if it goes ahead and draws water, drinks out of this container of water reserved for the paraduma ashes, which has to be pure water, undiluted, and unaffected by any other ingredients that may have fallen to it. So this worm who sucks this water doesn't spit back, so it doesn't disqualify the water for the mechatas. Okay, so it just takes one way. It takes, but it doesn't actually spit back. My kartis, what exactly is this creature? Abaye, did vasa, this little worm, this fly, the beni kipi found amongst the bundles. Master of the neighbor of Katina. How could you say that he doesn't affect the water? Kolo efas poist mechatas. Any flying creature does disqualify when he drinks out of the mechatas because he spits back, and there's sort of an exchange of saliva. Chutz min ayoin, except for a dove, which is unique. He just sucks, but does not spit back. V'misa, well, if your worm does the same, nisni chutz mi yoin v'kartzis. Let the Mishnah mention it. Everything's poisel except for a dove and a kartzitz. Like psikale, it's not clear to the brisa. You know why? Because it all depends on age. The gdoila le pasla. Once this kartzitz grows, to a certain age, a certain point, then in fact it just sucks but doesn't spit back. Katana pasla. But while it's still in its infancy, when it's small, then it isn't necessarily some control of his bodily fluids, and therefore it can actually dilute the mechatas. Vatkama, until what point? Meaning, when has he achieved maturity, in which case it's safe? Amar Rav Yirmiyah, v'tem Rav Ami at kezayis, when he reaches a kezayis in size. So bottom line is, these three gittin in our Mishnah, pasam to Rabbanan, you shouldn't use it, but bidi eved, some shita says leiteitze, and some hold teitze, unless there are kids involved. Rabbi Lezer disagrees. He says, you never need to be worried about signing a get or any shtar for that matter, because the ikar is, the main thing is mesira, delivering it in the presence of it. Amar Rabbi Marav, that's how we pass. Halacha, Rabbi Lezer begittin, when it comes to gittin, edi mesira are primary. Kamrisa kamid Shmuel. So Rabbi Yehuda was a Talmud of Rav, and also of Shmuel. When I related this quote to Shmuel, Amar, he's added af b'shtaris. Not only by gittin do we pass like Rabbi Lezer, we apply the same idea to all documents. Rav Savar b'shtaris lei. Rav disagrees regarding other documents. Haktani v'goyva v'nechasim shabadim. Rabbi Lezer now Mishnah clearly indicates that his concept holds true by gittin and regarding collections and all other documents. So why does Rav not paskin like Rabbi Lezer by shtaris? Answers the Gemara. You're right. Rabbi Lezer tarti. Rabbi Lezer himself applies it to gittin and other documents. He doesn't differentiate. But in terms of adopting Rabbi Lezer's opinion, he adopted only the gittin aspect, but disagreed when it comes to other stories. Parshim explained, Pasuk says in Yirmiyah that shtaros are meant to be long-lasting verifications, and therefore, you can't just have Edim Masira. It has to have something that's actually long-term, actual signature signed on your document. V'chein or Rabbi Yaakov bar Idam or Shmuel Levi alach Rabbi Lezer begittin. We pass on Rabbi Lezer regarding gittin. Rabbi Yani Omar afilu reicha get in by. 1 second. It's nothing. It's worthless. You have no signatures on your get. It doesn't even smell. It doesn't have a scent of a get. Which means to say that even if it was issued to a woman, she could still marry a kohen. Remember we had at the beginning of the parak that sometimes even a problematic get can affect an isha regarding her ability to marry a kohen, but this is worthless. There are no edom on the star, forget about it. Afilu reicha get ein boy. Asks the Gemara, what do you mean? For Rabbi Yana, who said this statement, Leslie Rabbi Lezer, he does not like Rabbi Lezer. What do you mean the get is worthless? Hachikam, he meant to say like this: L'Rabbanon, those who oppose Rabbi Lezer, who require edei chasim like Rameir, afilu reicha get ein boy. If there are no edom, it's nothing, worthless. V'chei nom Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina tells us, Amar Reish Lakish, in the name of Reish Lakish, halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin. We follow Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Rabbi Yechon Amar. Afilu reicha get ein boy. It doesn't even have reicha get. Asks the Gemara, what do you mean? Lema, do we mean to say Rabbi Yechon Leslie Rabbi Lezer? Rabbi Yechon doesn't hold like Rabbi Lezer. He's so negating this get. Achikami means to say that l'Rabbanan, according to the other shittas, afilu reicha get ein boy, a get without edim is worthless. But we pass on Rabbi Lezer. Shalach le Rab Abba bar Zavda. He sent to who? The Mari bar Mar. Boymine, please ask the following question: Rav Huna. Halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin? Oyein halach. Do we pass on Rabbi Lezer or not? Adahachi. By the time he got him, Nach Nafshe the Rav Huna passed away. Amalei, so he got the son to answer him. Amalei Rabba, brave Rabba, the son of Huna, told the questioner like this: Hachi Ama Abba, Mishmei the Rabba. Abba quote my father. Rav Huna quoted Rabba that yes, Halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Not only that, but Rabbi Seino bekin b'dvar halacha. Our Rabbeim who are experts in halacha, Mishra Rabbeinu, Amru, they quoted the Rabbeinu, which is Rav Huna. Amru, halacha Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Sorry, Rabbeinu is Rab. They also said halacha Rabbi Lezer beGittin, and you can rely on the Eidei Mesira. The Amr of Chama bar Gurya. Chama Guri told us in the name of Rav, I'm a Rav, halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Ikadami, there's another version of this exchange. Instead of Rabbi Seinu, he referenced to our colleagues, our friends, which is Rav Chizda, who are Baki in Varalacha, and also Talmidei Rabbeinu and the Talmidim of Rabbeinu, which is Rav. Mishum Rabbeinu Amru quoted Rav, our Rebbe, that halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Rav Chizda was the Chavreinu, our colleagues. He quotes Amar Rav Chamar Guri, who was a Talmud of Rab, Amar Rav, halach Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Chenke Aser Ravin, or Ravin came, Amar Rabbi Lezer. Amar Rav, he quotes Rav, that in fact halacha Rabbi Lezer beGittin. Continues the Mishnah. Shnayim sheshochu shnei gittin. Shavin. You have two men who sent their divorce documents with a shliach, and actually they're both identical. The men have the same name, and so do the women. So this get has Reuven divorcing Rachel, and this get has Reuven divorcing Rachel. When the messengers mixed them all up, can't remember which Reuven for which Rachel. So how do they get divorced? Very simple. Nois and Shneim Lezu. Shneim Lezu takes both, gives it to this Rachel, and both to that Rachel. This way, one of them is certainly for her. Lefichach Avad Echad Man. So therefore, if it turns out that one of them got lost en route, Harisheni Batal, you can't use the second one. You don't know who it belongs to. On this, a similar note, says the Mishnah, you have 5 husbands trying to save on their get expenses, so they decided to pool their resources. They're going to use one piece of parchment. They wrote like a general klal. Ish plainim megarish plainis, u plaini plainis. Reuven is megarish Rachel, and Shimon megarish Leah. They wrote it all in one get. Va'edim alamata, and you have edim on the bottom. Kulang ksherim, they can be used for all 5 women. V'inasan chalachas v'achas, provided it's handed to each isha for gerush. Haya kaisef teifes l'chalechad v'echad. But let's say it's written differently. There's a separate text per husband. V'edim alamata, and then there's edim all on the bottom. Now it's not so smooth, not so clear, because they're separate documents, although it's on one paper. Es sha'edim nikrni my kasher. The only one that's kasher is the one that has the hedim signed on it. So the part of the get that leads straight into the hedim, that part is kasher, but everything else on top of it is not kasher. So we have the 2 husbands sending 2 gittin, which got mixed up. We take both, we give it to this isha, both to that isha, and you're good to go. Mantana, who's the author of this Mishnah, which allows this solution, even though it's not a, you can't identify, right, which one belongs to whom. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah, the like Rabbi Lezer. Apparently, that's not going like Shittas Rabbi Lezer. Why? The Rabbi Lezer, because according to him, handing over the get, the delivery of the get is what triggers, what activates the get. Kiva the Amar Ede Mesira Karti. He holds that the Mesira is what triggers the get. Halayadi. Nobody knows behind me Nayu Kamagasha which get is making her gerushin. One of these two. We don't know which one. It's lacking in specificity, in personalization. So it's not enough, according to Rabbi Lezer, that the get, wherever her get is, was written for her. That's not enough. You have to see it in the Mesira. Which one is being Megarashu? Abaya Omar disagrees. No. There's no such requirement. Even according to Rabbi Lezer. I feel Tim Rabbi Lezer. Even Rabbi Lezer would agree it works. Hema the Rabbi Lezer Ksiva Lishma. Rabbi Lezer needs the Ksiva to be written Lishma. Nesina Lishma Miboid. We have to have Nesina Lishma. Well, this is for you. Give you both. And one of them works. That's enough. Okay, let's briefly chazer over today's daf. We discussed the text of a shtar mechira of an eved, free of all issues, criminal, legal, ready to work. Medical, ready to work. We have the three gittin which are pasal chatchila. They're lacking something, whether it's edim, whether it's man, etc. They're different than other examples of gittin psulim because here there's no vlad mamzer, and even perhaps she can stay unmarried with the new husband. That's the way they were masakin and structure the get, that even if it's lacking these features, it still has value. We had a discussion regarding the husband's handwriting versus the seif's handwriting. We discussed whether or not we pass on Rabbi Lezer, and we had a chiddush of Abaye that even according to Rabbi Lezer, Edim Mesira Karsi, but even if it's served in a bunch, take all these and one of them is yours. That works as well, and she is Megureshes. All the best to you and Hatzlacha Rava.